And welcome to the BCM podcast. I'm this week's host, Brad Swail. To my top left is Charles Blain. I have to say it because it's just staring me in the face, but I think he's growing his hair out. Michael Searle to my top right. We have our handles and our names there on the screen. They're also going to be down in the description, so follow us. Subscribe and share with friends, obviously, family members, do all that good stuff. Fellas, it's good to be here. Michael, I know it's just called Yonder. Calm down.
Okay. I shared screen.
I know. It's okay. It's fine. We don't need to get into it. But Charles...
For those who don't know, they were having a huge fight before, and I was just sitting idly by. Brad was trying to fight and Michael using my line of reasoning from before. It was a mess. But
oh my God, we're not talking. You're not talking.
Okay. Stop. So we got a lot to talk about today. Last week we had a great episode with the Texas Hill Country Provisions / Chill Country guys, Madison Wickham and Chris Sika, talking about SB3. I think maybe there's some updates about SB3, what's going on and stuff like that. So I think that we should probably talk about that a little bit since people are now emotionally invested after that show. And of course, the JFK Files, there's major revelations about pyramids. And I can't imagine that Michael is just like, he's probably dying to talk about it.
It's difficult.
I can only imagine. You're having a rough time.
It's fine.
And then a bunch of other stuff. I mean, we live in, it's 2025, right? That's the current year. And we got liberals all across the country blowing up and torching electric cars. Who would have thought? All right. It's kind of it's ironic, isn't it, Charles?
Sure.
Very ironic.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's ironic. I don't find is it liberals across the country or is it 3?
I don't understand. 3 liberals?
Yeah, I think there were 3 that were arrested.
Pam Bondi announced today that there would be charges against 3 individuals. It would be a minimum of 5 years, up to 20 years of prison, should they be found guilty. And quite frankly, I'm wondering why it's only 3.
Because it probably only was 3.
Yeah, probably so. You're right. There was probably only like 2 people in Antifa that firebombed federal buildings.
I mean, did we suddenly see Teslas across the country blowing up or something? Like, why would?
Yeah, there was one in Las Vegas that blew up.
Tesla.
Literally.
More importantly, did you guys see the guy who wiped his poopy on the Tesla?
What? No, I didn't see that.
This is a real thing. Yeah.
Do you have it pulled up?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I have to type into X Tesla poop, and I got it already.
I mean, so Teslas blow up by themselves all the time, so I'm not
they blow up by themselves all the time. Well, this man blew up in his pants and decided to wipe it on a Tesla. So let's watch this.
Oh. That's
Oh.
I mean, it looks like he wiped swamp ass on the Tesla more than he wiped shit. But either way, that's this. What? How disturbed must you be?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to pull it back up. Well, maybe I will just real briefly, just to kind of, I want to just analyze this just real quick because I think it's going to be interesting, especially for Charles.
But how disturbed?
It's a belly full of seed oil. All right?
You don't know what he eats.
It's just, what did you say?
You don't know what he eats.
He eats shit, dog shit, probably covered in sunflower oil and other vegetable oils, just disgusting stuff. And so his shits it's basically water and oil. It's greasy. It's greasy shits. He's wiping it all over a Tesla. Charles, what's that like?
Which part of that?
Well, I mean, you eat a bunch of seed oils.
I don't eat a bunch of seed oils, but yes, I still use seed oil because Cali Means hasn't gotten to me, and
Oh yeah, seed oils
only.
only
in black machine that wipes your memory and makes you think seed oils are bad. I mean, Andrew Huberman has not said anyway. Yes, I use seed oil.
Yeah, and I mean, Michael, I don't know. Was it Cali Means? Is that the person that got you into the evils of seed oil? Or have you known about this for longer than that?
I've known about seed oils longer than I have Cali Means.
Oh, interesting. I like how Charles just likes to pit us against each other. It's like he likes to just cause chaos and just make everyone seem like we're just following the trends of Cali means. So anyhow, go ahead.
It's the stages of grief, man. He'll get there. Don't worry.
Listen, I'm just saying, seed oils, we've survived on them for a long time. Now suddenly Cassie and Callie are out here telling everybody, oh, let's not eat this, only use, I use beef tallow. Like I use it, but I'm not excluding all of the other opportunities I have. You have to understand there are different oils for different purposes. The sesame oil is good for a certain dish. I mean, Michael, you know this. And so you have to have all of a tool. Huh?
What the fuck does that mean? Michael, you know this.
Well, Michael likes to like.
What are you talking?
What I mean is
not only for myself and my family. I've cooked for myself for 20 plus years.
That's not what I mean. That's not what I mean.
I cook
Michael's
regularly.
really
A variety of different oils and butters and all sorts of stuff. Fats. What are you talking about? Oh, Michael, you would know.
I would.
Michael's really into cooking and plating and different recipes and stuff. I don't know if you are. You might be.
Plating? Michael's into plating? No.
Have you never gone and looked on his Instagram of him making these? I mean, he doesn't do as much anymore, but he used to post these dishes.
Ah, gross. Look, be into cooking, that's fine. But being into plating is a totally different.
Presentation is a major part of the meal.
Yeah, shut up, right? You're not eating at a 5-star. It's not a Michelin star restaurant over there at the Searle household, okay? You don't need to plate it.
But that's the beauty of the culinary arts. You don't have to be at a Michelin star restaurant to have a fine meal and a nice plating. That's the purpose.
Is angry because he needs a haircut. Let's look at Pam Bondi's. So this is the story that Michael was talking about.
Thanks, Charles. You're right. He's wrong.
Thank you.
AG Pam Bondi announces serious, those are in quotes. This is from Nick Sorter. Who's that? Y'all know him? Federal charges for 3 defendants who terrorized Tesla with Molotov cocktails. Let this be a warning. If you join this wave of domestic terrorism against Tesla properties, the DOJ will put you behind bars. 5 to 20 years is what each of these defendants face. Good. More of this at AG Pam Bondi. This is from, again, Nick Sorter. Way to go, Pam Bondi. You got 3 goons that are throwing Molotov cocktails at Teslas and charging stations, all that stuff. That's good. I am genuinely happy about that. But didn't you give binders of Epstein client lists and stuff like that to conservative influencers just a few weeks ago, and still no one is arrested? Are there no pedophiles out there that flew to the Epstein Island that you can possibly arrest? What's happening?
I have a new thesis on that, but I'm going to ask a question about this. How many years would you get if you say firebombed a Nissan Leaf? Would it be 5 years or 1 year?
You might actually get out of jail free card. Nissan Leaf.
No, you'd probably get 1. This is, in my opinion.
You get what?
1.
So is this a special?
Maybe not 1, but I feel like this is being made a bigger deal because it's Tesla.
Yeah. So is this a special classification of crime for people who terrorize Elon Musk's style or type of cars? Or that seems a little weird. I'm fine with people being prosecuted for terrorizing and blowing up cars, but why Tesla specifically and not the Nissan Leaf?
Wasn't it the motivation? There was the what was that website called? Doge. They created a website where they doxed Tesla owners. DogeQuest. It was DOGEQUE.ST. DogeQuest was the website. It's no longer up, so I feel comfortable saying that. So I'm not trying to dox people. And you could go online, you could find someone that owns a Tesla and where they live and all their personal information. And those people could get removed from the website if they showed proof that they sold or traded in their Tesla, no longer drove a Tesla, and then their information would be removed. So people are saying that it's domestic terrorism because of what Elon Musk is doing. They're trying to get him to stop doing that, finding all the fraud. That we need to keep funding transgender mice. We have to. If you don't, you're a bigot. We have to keep doing that. So I don't know. Does it matter if you blow up a Nissan Leaf? Who owns Nissan? Nobody knows. Who cares?
Don't these people have something better to do with their lives than go around and find people with Teslas and wipe shit on them? Like, Get a life, folks.
You would think that maybe they would, since their USAID funding got dried up, but I guess they don't.
I don't know. I mean, listen, no one gets more annoyed than me when they see a cyber truck pull up next to them. But going and doing, I mean, this is stupid on both sides because it's stupid to do to begin with. But of course, it's being treated this way simply because it is who it is. And if you watch, and as you guys both know, if you watch local government, they do regular presentations. Here in Houston, HPD does regular presentations of the top cars targeted for this, that, the other. Why is that not a conspiracy? If they're on targeting Toyotas because they know that Toyotas are easy to break into or whatever, and that happens all the time. A couple months last year, they were targeting like Kia something. Huh?
Oh, it was Hyundai's. Sorry.
I mean, it changes regularly for different purposes, but yes, there was I think it might have been the Hyundai. They were taking something off of it. So this happens all the time. Yes, this is specific because of who it is, but it's also being prosecuted that way because of who it is. And
it's being prosecuted that way because the motivations behind it. What you're talking about is Kia makes a shitty car where you can go up and pretend to push a fob and the door unlocks, and so people think it's easy to steal, so they go steal it. And there's not a political motivation behind it.
Yeah. Terrorism
is to say there's a political motivation behind these three individuals. And even if it is, does that change?
Well, I don't know that she's prosecuting them for domestic. I think it's prosecuting because they're firebombing.
If I kill you because I hate you versus I kill you because I hate your politics, is there any difference?
Oh, now we're going to get into should there be hate crimes?
Well, neither of those would be a hate crime.
Well, it's the same argument. If I kill you, I kill you. What does it matter if I kill you because I hate you?
Well, I'm using this. It's the equivalence of the Tesla. If you do this because you hate Tesla, or you do this because you hate Tesla's policies, what's the difference?
I don't know, man. What is the difference? Pam Bondi's going to tell us. That's for sure. She's going to save Tesla. That's what's going to happen. Michael,
I think Pam Bondi should sit down and stop tweeting about Tesla and start tweeting about what she's seen in those Epstein files. Right? Am I right?
Yes.
You're right.
It's about time.
Give him a round of applause. Don't you have a button?
Hey, I have a new theory on this, not to take us on a total tangent.
Do tell.
There it is.
Okay, delayed.
And it never dawned on me to consider it this way because I always heard client list. What's on the client list? Epstein's client list, thinking we're talking about people that he trafficked young folks to, young boys and gals to. That's one type of client. But is it also plausible that folks like Bill Gates allegedly hired him and they were his client to get dirt on other people? Like he was selling dirt?
So those people were his clients too, you're saying? And that
correct.
So Bill Gates he went to the island.
He's just using Bill Gates as an example.
Not as a client of Epstein, but because Epstein is his client, and Epstein was trying to impress him. Look at you want to keep me as a client because look at this awesome island I have, and look at these children that I have chained up.
Where I'm getting dirt on people that I can use to influence politics in ways that you would like to see. And maybe Epstein didn't take clients that weren't also compromised. I don't know. I just had never thought of that in all of this discussion and all of the thought that I've given to the Epstein case. It never dawned on me. Maybe people and agencies were hiring him to use his dirt.
Well, and maybe it was the government, which is why it's of national security.
Certainly agencies were doing that. I mean,
correct.
Yeah, they hired him, used him to make honeypots or whatever.
Well, yeah. I mean, very wealthy individuals, I'm sure, were probably doing it too.
Yeah, Lex Wexner, was that his name? Yeah, and others are allegedly involved. I don't know.
Allegedly?
Involved, but involved in what way? I mean, I don't want to make accusations on this show, Charles. You hate it when I do that.
I do.
You do, especially when I'm talking about Gene Wu. So, if we could, don't make that face. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, because
go on, Gene Wu, come on the show.
Come on, Gene, let's do it. All right, let's talk about the JFK Files. Charles, are you okay? Do you need to go for a little jog, or you have restless leg syndrome?
No, I'm just standing.
Okay. This is a sitting show, but that's fine. Let's talk about the JFK Files. All right, Michael, this is your wheelhouse.
Is it?
It is 100% your wheelhouse. I grokked it. I wanted to see what Grok thought, right?
Mm-hmm.
What does Grok think about all this? And Grok basically said all it does is bolster sort of the narrative, the regular narrative, the Warren Commission's narrative. That's it. Like nothing's really changing.
Well, I've gone through all 80,000 documents, obviously, because I don't have a life or sleep, and I have extra time in the day that you guys don't have. The first thing I will say is I read several documents, and many of them are like, how is this even related to JFK? It doesn't even seem like they're related. But I caveat that with, we got to let the experts, the JFK crazies, the experts who know all of the historical context and all these code words and all the people involved, we got to let them comb through it. And they're going to need some time to really tell us what a lot of these documents mean to the JFK assassination. Because I don't think the Twitter influencer, the Benny Johnsons of the world, are reading these documents, seeing these documents, and being able to connect the dots. Like, what does this mean to the assassination? So that's the first thing. So I don't think we know what they say yet.
Excellent point.
The second thing is, I do think it illuminates, it did tell us some things. One is, we knew about Lee Harvey Oswald long before we've acknowledged that we knew about Lee Harvey Oswald. That's all over the documents.
Isn't that weird though? Like they knew that Lee Harvey Oswald, and that there was that he might try to assassinate the president. Also, like it was he was a known quantity, a known threat. They didn't really do anything about it, and we see that pattern even today.
Yeah,
sort of interesting, right?
Yeah, that was another thing that came out of the files that I saw, was that there were credible threats against the president that they got in advance that were pretty specific. I think one document said Lee Harvey Oswald said he's going to kill the president, and then they're going to kill him. Doesn't say who they is. Who's they going to kill him? I don't know. But they got a credible threat, and they were tracking him in Dallas, and they didn't stop him. So that's interesting. I don't know if that tells us anything. And then there's, the file about the CIA guy who, the day after the assassination, went home and said the CIA was involved in this. A small clique in the CIA was involved in this. I fear for my life. I'm going to have to leave the country. And this guy ends up Hillary Clinton.
He said he told his friends that in New Jersey.
It's true.
He went to New Jersey after this, because as one does. But yeah.
And then there's some stuff about Angleton and the state of Israel. And so I think it provided some additional color to what people already suspect, but I don't think anything in there was like a smoking gun.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there was the reference to Joe Biden, which is fun, but
reference to Joe Biden
in the files.
What did they say about Joe Biden?
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There's a handwritten note that the CIA got before it was delivered from JFK Jr. in 1994 to a then Senator Joe Biden.
Yeah.
And he sent it to his Delaware home. And all it said was, Senator Biden, you are a traitor. JFK Jr.
Interesting.
Wait, that's what the note said?
Yeah. And that's in the files.
Why?
I don't know.
That's a great question. Why indeed JFK Jr. died in a plane crash in 1999, I think, which allowed Hillary Clinton, his challenger to become senator of New York, to go in and sweep it and become senator. Good job, Hillary Clinton.
Sorry, he what?
He died in a plane crash. I think his challenger. Huh?
He wasn't a senator.
Yeah, running to be.
Was he?
Yeah.
And Hillary Clinton was his opponent, and Hillary Clinton won. So good job, Hillary Clinton. You did it again. Congratulations.
I'm sorry. Hillary Clinton, she was a senator in 99?
2000.
The campaign was in 99. Sometimes people campaign before they, like the election.
I don't know. I guess I'm having like a moment because I didn't realize I was that old. It feels like she was a senator. 10 years ago. That's right, because in 08, when I was graduating high school, she was running for president. So, yeah, I guess that makes sense.
You graduated in 08?
Mhm.
Oh, God.
They actually had a primary debate at my high school.
Who?
The Democrats?
Did you go?
No.
Good for you.
It wasn't it wasn't for the students, but
Yeah, well, not for students. We don't want those people. Gross.
Did you guys see anything in the files that I didn't mention? I mean, there was other stuff like we got a pretty good window into CIA operations in other countries, overthrowing leaders and some of the schemes we were playing there. But a thing that stood out to me is Judge Napolitano tells of this conversation he had with Trump at the end of the last administration and was like, why didn't you release the files? And Trump says to him, if they showed you what they showed me, you wouldn't have released them either. And everything that I saw in those documents, like, would Trump really be concerned about releasing that information? So what was he referring to specifically?
Well, I think some of it's still being digitized and going through the process. So I think you make a good point. We should wait for the experts, people that have been studying this their entire lives, those totally above board sane people.
Yes.
That's been
get their hands on it
and their entire lives on this. I appreciate their work. Charles, did you notice anything in there? Were you concerned about even Australia having concerns about the declassification of the JFK files? Why would Australia have any say in this? I wonder.
I don't know, and I didn't know that part. That is quite interesting. Why would Australia have any concerns about it? That's strange. I don't know that anything really blew my mind in there. I didn't think to consider what Michael said at the start of this, which is that you have people who have studied this for a long time who have not even begun to crack the first 1,000 pages of the 80,000 pages. So it's hard to really discern what smoking gun could be in there when you look at it with knowing eyes. So I'm going to be a little more patient and bite my tongue because I was about to not be. But that does make a lot of sense. But no, nothing in there really that I saw from that was been publicized so far has really like blew my mind.
Well, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No. I was just going to say the only thing, which it's not new, but I still, they followed him to Mexico the weeks before that or whatever. What?
Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just feel like, you're following this guy around, you're surveilling him for that long. I'm sure this is out there. I don't know why they started surveilling him. But you're doing that. And like you said before, you still let it happen. Like, if you're surveilling the guy in Mexico, can't you surveil him to the book depository? Repository?
They were.
No, but I mean, like, to the point where, like, you can then stop him. Like, that's what I mean. So I just find that part of it's very strange. Clearly, there was not a robust effort or desire to actually stop him from accomplishing his mission.
Yeah. Well, I've always been kind of controversially in the JFK world because I'm such a staple, but among my friends who believe in the JFK assassination conspiracies, I've always said, and I think I said in the show that we covered it on the anniversary, that I could see that Lee Harvey Oswald was involved in the shooting as a second shooter, as one of the shooters has been always sure. Why couldn't he have been involved? And there's a lot of people in the JFK conspiracy world who think, no, he's totally a patsy. He wasn't involved at all. I don't know. It can be both. It was a conspiracy. There was a second shooter on the grassy knoll or somewhere in that direction. And Lee Harvey Oswald could have been shooting from the 6th floor of the school book depository or the 2nd floor or wherever that he was. That's also possible and true. And these documents, while we have to take them with a grain of salt because they certainly wanted to control the narrative in the way that they pushed these out, beg for his involvement more than maybe before.
One thing I will say is you notice how what's so interesting is just like at 24, why would you be why
what
would you want to shoot the president? Like at 24 years old, you hear things of this like 60-year-old guy who's like sitting at his home watching the news all day, every day, and like takes a gun and goes and does something crazy. But a 24-year-old, similarly to the guy,
not on pharma drugs either.
Well, I don't. I mean, you would know that. But similarly to the guy who shot Trump over the summer, like, I don't know, that guy's what, 21, 22, something like that. Like at that age, what takes over you, or does something take over you, and or does it not? And then they frame you. But at that age, like, I just don't get what would drive someone to do something that crazy.
Being an intelligence asset.
At 24?
Sure.
Yeah.
Why not?
Dude,
Young.
this is 1960s. This is post World War II. People, like, how many 24-year-olds had just died fighting for their country or fighting for the world in World War II. 24 was a lot older then than it is now. But I mean,
Yeah.
I could see a lot of motivations for why he would want to do that.
So you feel for Lee Harvey Oswald. You empathize and sympathize with him. That's what's going on.
No.
Do his kids have anything to say about all this?
Lee Harvey Oswald's?
No. Yes.
His kids were very young at the time. His wife still, I don't know that she's alive, but proclaims that he was innocent and was not involved.
Oh, wow.
And we found out in the documents that they surveilled her post assassination. Oh, and the other thing that we found out is, well, I think we knew this already, but it was in the documents as well, was that Jack Ruby and Lee Harvey Oswald, Jack Ruby killed Lee Harvey Oswald, they met 2 weeks before the assassination.
Oh,
And that was in the files as well.
it's normal. Yeah, I think the only question that matters is if it turns out that the CIA, maybe it's a small clique in the CIA, or the CIA generally knew about it. Seems like Australia is involved, maybe a little bit of Israel, a little bit of U.S. Lots of different places are involved here. Is anybody going to go to jail? Anything going to change? Anything going to change at all? If our government had any involvement in, I mean, LBJ, was he involved? If our government had any involvement in the assassination of our sitting elected president, does anything change?
Yes.
What changes? Because I disagree. I don't think anything changes.
Culture.
No, the culture is not going to change. Nothing's going to fucking change. It's fucking stupid.
How much has the country and the populace changed in Trump era? Look at the Republican Party and their trust of institutions compared to in the Bush years and compared to now. Information changes people's perspective quite a bit.
Sure.
It has an effect on the country.
Yeah, I don't think that the institute, I don't think the government's going to change all that much. All this is going to be, everything that Doge is doing, AOC is going to bring it back when she wins the presidency. That's
I mean, I think change is a subjective thing. I mean, if you can't say the government has changed a lot since, say, 2016 when Trump came in, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you compare the government to when Obama left, to when Trump left, to when Biden left, well, Biden just left, but to even now, from when Biden left to now, like there've been significant changes. Are they going to be the changes that you speak of, which is like we see the abolishment of the CIA and stuff like that? No, I don't think we're ever going to see that.
Well, speaking of abolishing,
today we take a very historic action that was 45 years in the making. In a few moments, I will sign an executive order to begin eliminating the Federal Department of Education once and for all.
Did you say boo? Okay. Like, what the fuck?
they're sitting at children's chairs.
There's so many things are wrong with this. Like, first of all, why? Like, why can't they just be in seats? Like, why do they just not? Why do they have to be in those? But two, I really don't like the use of children, because we just talked about the Tesla thing. People are getting crazier and crazier, and like, I just don't like them having kids up there and like making them targets for like the face of abolishing the Department of Education, when you know that educators are some of the most passionate and like wild fucking people out there who might go do something crazy. Like, I don't know. And then those kids got to go back to school tomorrow, and their teachers who are pissed off that they're abolishing the Department of Education is now going to take it out on them too.
Those kids are homeschools.
Probably.
Those are homeschoolers.
They're going to be.
Yeah.
They're gonna be.
Is it the teachers that are crazy, or is it the unions?
Not all, I mean, some teachers are crazy. I don't mean to disparage teachers as a whole. I'm just saying that you do have the issue of education really brings out like another level in people who are involved in it. Parents, teachers, administrators, all those people. And you see people do crazy stuff from time to time. And I feel like you could have did that with a bunch of like commissioners of education or, I mean, it's not a big deal. It just was the first thing on my mind. But
you guys chat about this for. I'm going to ask a question. Is this make it more or less likely that full blown universal school choice just sails through the Texas House and takes over our country? You guys discuss for a second. I need to go tell my kids something real quick, but please discuss. Talk amongst yourselves.
not as though we're not running a show here or anything. You're just leaving, but
We're fine without you.
I mean, I think we're in agreement on that. I mean, I don't know what your thoughts are. He's probably the one who disagrees. But my only thing is, like, are they going to pass something? Yes. Is it going to be universal? To some people, they're going to call it universal. I don't think it's going to actually be. Universal has one definition, but not at the Texas legislature.
Yeah, I mean, if the definition of universal is that everybody uses it, no. But if it's the definition of universal is that it's available to everybody that wants it, they're not going to get there this session, but they probably will eventually. What I like most about this move is it's restoring the proper role of government and the proper role of federalism and under the Constitution, which is unless it's articulated in the Constitution as this is the role of the federal government, education, which it isn't, it is left to the states. Getting rid of the Department of Education is just restoring the proper role of the federal government as it relates to education, and the states lead it. And I love that about this. And not to mention, we haven't seen outcomes improve since the creation of the Department of Education. So this is a great move. Brad, will we have universal health or universal school choice? It depends on how you define universal.
I mean, universal, one, and two, Michael, I think this is an excellent example. Trump signing an executive order to start the abolishing of the Department of Education. It's a great example of nothing ever changing. Okay.
Why?
I'm joking with you. It's an obvious example of how it is changing.
Yeah. Well, the distinction in the definition of universal that Charles and I discussed while you were pooping, I mean, telling your kids what to do, was is it universally used? Is that your goal? You want everybody to use school choice where they take their money where they want to go? Or is it universally available to people that want to use it? Those are different metrics.
I don't know. It kind of seems like there's a little bit of 6 in one, half dozen the other. A little bit. Because if it's available to everybody, but I choose not to use it, then I'm still choosing school choice. Like I'm still choosing the public. Like it's still a choice.
Yeah.
I take your meaning.
Yeah. And one of the big things that needs to happen is the money needs to follow the kid rather than the state subsidizing the choice. But that's a future thing. That won't happen this session.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about some weed because we talked about it a lot last week, and I think that there's been some updates you guys would know for sure. SB3, Dan Patrick, there's definitely an update because Dan Patrick went in. Dan Patrick's the lieutenant governor. You call him Light Gov Lights? Is that something that people call him?
Lieutenant Governor? They call him lots of things. Lieutenant Dan, Light Gov. Yeah.
Okay.
Is it that funny?
I guess if I'm talking about any lieutenant governor, do they call them governor Light Gov or whatever?
I think they just call him lieutenant governor. I mean, some people say Light Gov. I only see Scott Braddock say that on Twitter, but
it's like Veep.
Yeah.
So here is a video that the lieutenant governor Dan Patrick shared. He is on a tear against THC as well as lottery ticket couriers. That would be jackpockets.com, owned by DraftKings. They buy you pay them money and they go buy the tickets for you, and it's all done through your phone. And sometimes, they buy 20 million tickets or whatever. One of their people is going to win, and Governor Patrick thinks that that's weird and that shouldn't be allowed. I don't get it, but now he's doing the same thing with a THC vape shop. So let's watch just a little bit of this video. I think it's interesting. This is a Texas Public Schools and hemp locations map. This is not good information. This is just Should they be close to schools? Okay, fine. That's a fine regulation. Don't put them within a mile of a school or whatever the hell is. But this map is unreadable and doesn't really show us anything except for there's a lot of fucking THC shops.
Holes in the wall. Recently, I visited several of these smoke shops.
Here's a smoke shop. There's also a massage parlor there. I'm kind of wondering, like, maybe was the smoke shop the second place he went to? Maybe.
To see what they're selling. All said they weren't selling to kids, but a lot of other people have a different opinion.
The city right now are trying to fight it because I think of the same reason you brought up. Because some kids just go buy things. And
Okay. Some kids go buy things. He gets gummies.
So I always recommend people just take half of gummy and then see like how it does.
This issue.
I think this guy is on a gummy when he's talking. And
How would I know what's strong and not strong?
he points out that some of them have really high amounts of THC in them, blah, 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 blah. So he's on a tear. He's just really, really wanting to ban all this stuff. Now, I don't know if there's anything beyond that, but we talked about it last week. I thought we should probably talk about it a little bit. Do you guys think it's going to pass? What's going to happen here?
Well, the update is as I said on the show, that Chairman of House State Affairs, which will hear this bill, Ken King, filed the House version of the bill. It's a little bit different. It's basically bans everything except for drinkable. Is that the right word? THC. So things sold in liquor stores, such as specs. So yeah. So what happened was the big lobby got to Chairman King. He made a carve out to allow specs, who the guys mentioned last week want to double down on the THC drinks at their stores, allow them to continue to sell, and everybody else is out of business.
And that's weird, though. Like, I mean, it is a little bit. I mean, not weird in the sense. Like, I understand how that happened. A lobbyist went and talked to a fucking, commissioner, chairman, whatever, representative, the person that's controlling this whole game, and now there's a carve out for them. I understand that part. That's not weird. What I'm saying is weird is maybe there's going to be regulations about how much THC can be in the drink. I've seen these drinkables before. Usually it's like 5 milligrams. Okay. But like I can easily drink like 6 club sodas. Like I could drink 6 Waterloos, 6 LaCroix pretty easily. Right. And if they all of a sudden have 10 milligrams of THC in them, I would get really fucked up. And like kids could easily drink that. I put a THC can in my fridge. My kids would they would see that and think, oh, cool, bubble water. I'm going to drink that. It sounds like
that's the stupid thing about this, because they're talking about like, oh, we don't want kids to be able to get it, blah, blah, blah. Well, what looks mostly like a kid's drink, these THC drinks, bright colors, happy faces, all this stuff on them. They're going to grab that. And it's just stupid. If you are actually that concerned about it, then ban it all. Like, why make an exemption? Especially when it's something that, like, I think it's less like, I don't know what kids today are doing, but I feel like it's less likely that they're going to go into, young kids are going to go into a THC shop. I think it's more likely that they will get someone or get other people to go into a liquor store and buy them these drinks. Like, I feel like that's more likely.
Getting people to go into a liquor store for them and buy. I've never heard of that. That doesn't happen. What are you talking about?
Never. I feel like that's more common than kids trying to get it in these stores. Like, maybe, but like, I think it's stupid. And clearly
there's more homeless people than ever. Kids are going to have easy access to liquor stores.
I know. I agree. That's what I'm saying. That's my point.
I'm backing you up, bud. All right.
Well, on the flip side of that argument, I think that the liquor stores would say, well, you have to be 21 to come in here. Whereas these convenience stores, a kid can just walk into a convenience store and buy a whatever. So at least they have some regulation about who can come in the stores, who can't, who could buy stuff, who can't. They're obviously checking ID or supposed to be at a liquor store. But the lieutenant governor had basically the same response you guys just had, which was like, no, we're not carving out liquor stores. And so I don't know. I feel like this is a little bit of an irreconcilable difference, because the House member who filed this, I mean, he didn't just put this carve out in there and it's just going to be like, oh, never mind, no carve out, let's do everything. And it doesn't sound like Lieutenant Governor, who was threatening special sessions in his press conference yesterday is going to fold on the liquor sales. So
Can
they're at a
Dan-
little bit of an impasse.
Can Dan Patrick call a special session?
No,
So how would he threat? Who cares about his threat?
he would try to convince Governor Abbott to call a special session on it.
Sure. Do Dan Patrick and Governor Abbott have a good working relationship?
Yes.
I don't know. I guess, right? Weren't they at odds on some of the primaries?
I mean, yeah, but that's not really like that's just during primary season.
Yeah, but I mean they were trying to primary different people for like getting their priority legislation passed. That seems like
it was only a couple of
priorities.
It was only a couple people they were at odds on, and ultimately the priorities were the same that they were trying to get to. And so no, I don't think that's lasting.
Okay.
But do I think that Abbott's going to call a special session over this? I don't know. I don't know how strongly he feels about it. I've not heard anything.
Well,
Yeah, I doubt that he will. So I don't know. It seems like, so what happens in the process wise is Senate passes their bill, it bans everything. House passes their bill, let's say, that passes everything except for the drinkables, and then they go to what's called a conference committee where they try to hash out the differences, but I don't think they're going to be able to hash out the differences there.
No.
Well, I guess we'll see what's going to happen. I mean, it doesn't make I don't know. Yeah, whatever. Fuck it. I think it's kind of silly. I don't think it should be banned. I think alcohol does a lot more damage. Like if you're going to ban stuff, like, you're picking something that's kids get fucking wasted on booze all the time, and that's also terrible. Like it could be the same regulations, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it could.
Yeah. That would be the smart way to do it, but
okay. Let's talk about the pyramids. Shall we? Charles, Michael,
yes.
Michael, I'm surprised that you didn't text us when this information came out, when this was released.
I have no idea what you're talking about. So I'm going to learn about it here on the show and
fuck
react live.
Up. You have not heard about this yet?
Nope.
Charles, do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
This is insane.
I mean, I don't follow pyramid news.
I also don't follow pyramid news, but sometimes weird stuff pops up. All right, calm down. Okay. Well, there's this 3-minute video. I guess we can watch this. We can watch parts of it. And Michael, maybe we'll see if his face lights up.
Right before you do that, here was the last picture that Ken Paxton posted to Twitter.
Paxton, Governor Abbott, and
Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick with big smiles.
Well, when was it posted? What was the caption?
An hour ago.
An hour.
Well, I'd seen it earlier, and when you asked if they were close, I thought about this picture. So
I didn't ask. I said if they had a good working relationship. I didn't.
Look at that smile. Tell me they don't have a good working relationship.
I mean, that's a picture or whatever. All right.
A picture's worth 1,000 words.
Pyramids.
Are you ready for this, Michael?
I don't know.
These findings allowed us to construct a 3D model of the entire examination of dozens of tomographical images obtained from different angles using Capella space and Umbra radars enabled a 3D reconstruction of most of the objects inside the Pyramid of Khafre. Below, we present some images from our 3D analysis. The analysis of the structures above Belzoni's chamber are intensely colored spots which can be observed appearing in all tomographic images taken from different angles corresponding to the internal out of parallel row. Cylindrical structures extend for hundreds of meters beneath the Giza Plateau. Notably, 8 of these structures, arranged in 2 parallel rows from north to south, descend to a depth of 648 meters.
Look at that. Massive cylindrical structures plunging hundreds of meters below the surface of the pyramids. You're shaking your head like this is yeah, of course. Naturally, this is what are you talking about? This is normal. What are you talking about? Why are you not?
So they did LiDAR. Is what you're telling the story of the video is they did LiDAR.
There's
and they
massive
detected
structures 2 kilometers underneath the pyramids of Giza. Okay. Vertically lined, spiraling cylindrical structures discovered going down over 600 meters from the pyramid base to huge constructs below.
Yeah.
And it's not like, Graham Hancock on Joe Rogan talking about this as a, possibly this is something that happens that makes sense if you look at the weather patterns over the years. This is LiDAR and a 3D reconstruction model. And it seems like maybe this is sort of a big deal. Like, how would the pyramid builders, how would they have done this, Michael?
Well, and just so people know what LiDAR is, because I don't know that everybody does, but it stands for light detection and ranging. And so it uses lasers and remote sensing to measure distances and surfaces around a device, and ultimately creating an image of that device.
And measuring the density to determine if it's like stone versus wood versus sand, things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, I'm not surprised that I think the theory is that the contemporary pyramids are built on top of older construction. I mean, you see that in the size of the stones at the bottom of the pyramids. So the idea that there's stuff underneath it, that doesn't shock me. I mean, the LiDAR that they've done at Gunung Padang also has stuff underneath.
Is that your favorite Thai dish? What did you say?
That also has, it's in Indonesia. It's the oldest pyramid that we know of. It also has stuff underneath. The problem is that the antiquities or whatever their commission that decides whether you can excavate or not does not allow people to go look at those things. So does it shock me that they found big stones underneath the pyramid? No, I mean, not really.
Spiral like columns that go beneath it for 600 meters.
You have to understand that I think that human history is a lot older than what most people think.
Sure.
So in between, from my generation, from my grandfather's generation to today, we went from riding on horses to flying to Mars.
Okay.
In 5 generations.
Yeah.
If human history is 20,000 years old, how many times could we have like accelerated on technological advancement and then crash back down just in 20,000 years? I mean, you're talking about 8 generations or something like that.
No, I understand. I understand your point. I get it. I understand. I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you. I understand your point entirely. I get it. Charles,
you just wanted me to be more shocked about it.
Not shocked, but like, wow, it's exciting. Like, it's mainstream. There's a study that's going to come out, and like, it's going to be mainstream now. And maybe Graham Hancock will go back on Joe Rogan and have a 4-hour podcast, and you can ignore your family again for a weekend.
I'd love it.
Charles?
Oh, I mean, I don't really have anything to say. I think it's
Excellent.
interesting. Huh?
Excellent.
I think it's interesting. I'm not surprised. I mean, most structures have a foundation. Pier and beam's a popular one. And so the fact that there are piers and beams that seem to be holding it up, if you were to ask me before, could you ever imagine a world where there's piers and beams but underneath the what is it called? Pyramid? I'd be like, yeah, maybe. Like, to me, it doesn't seem like it's, I don't know. Unless it's
so
like
under the
but for it to be mainstream is different.
Under the pyramid is a big platform that it's built on, right? And people don't talk about this because they talk about the how amazing the pyramid is. But the platform of itself, which is made of much larger stones, is completely flat and is massive, was also built. So what's holding that up? There's the piers that's holding it up. And then what's below that? Who knows?
Right, because you have to think, I mean, this is sand, and you can see the sand dunes and how they drift hundreds of feet a day in the desert. So in order for these things to stand the way that they've been standing, they'd have to be on something. I've never really been a big pyramid person. I just think it's a building made of sand, some rooms inside. I've never really been a huge pyramid person.
That's one of my first date questions. Are you a pyramid person? And if they say no, ugh, it's over.
Charles, you keep talking like that. This is going to be the BM podcast.
Right.
The Blain and Michael podcast? Yes, that would be a great one.
Okay. Well, I thought that you'd be a lot more excited about that because it's
We all were very excited.
Alex Jones was talking about it. He had a big segment on it.
Mainstream, huh?
I mean, that's pretty mainstream, but it's fine. I'm not saying
Alex Jones.
Alex Jones is mainstream 20 years in advance of being mainstream.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. At any rate. All right. So what else did we want to talk about? Just briefly.
Oh, you're the host.
We got just a little bit of time here. Just we talked about Tesla, JFK. Oh, Boston Dynamics. Oh yes, I wanted to talk to you about Boston Dynamics because I think that there's I mean it's kind of wild how far they've gone. You guys know about Boston Dynamics and all the little robots that they build, right? Yes.
Yes. The dogs and
the dogs. Well, I'm getting a
What do
robot.
they do? They build robot dogs.
When I get a robot, I'm going to get one that's a dog.
That's
okay,
creepy.
great. I hope it survives.
It's not. They build robots and androids. You remember, like, it was kind of cool. I don't know, like 10 years ago, probably they would have a video of one of their androids, like kind of making it up steps, right? And everyone was like, whoa, the robots are going to kill us. This is, Terminator's the beginning, right?
Well, they're old news now. I mean,
this is not old news. Look at this bad boy. Look how smooth he walks. He's handsome.
Is that the one Kim Kardashian has?
Well, look at him go. Look at him run. Kneels. He proposes. He begs you for forgiveness. Does some bear crawls. Because he didn't do the laundry correctly, so he has to say, "I'm sorry."
Is this like a actual video?
This is an actual video that I'm showing you. And he's sad. He falls and he karate chops you. Don't make me do that. Breakdancing. Charles likes that. That's amazing. Truly. Charles, look at that go. And that's actually pretty cool. He does a somersault.
Cartwheel,
whatever the fuck. Shut up.
Yeah.
You fucking.
So if that's the stuff they're showing us publicly, what do they got in the back room?
Did you see that video of the whoever he is of Saudi Arabia, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, walking through a technology conference with a robot security guard?
No.
This was like a year ago. This is like massive, and it has a gun with it, and it's just like, I mean, he's got all his other people too, but it's walking with him, and he's walking through some sort of conference, and so I can only imagine what these things can do behind the scenes. But interestingly, they've also become more commercial. Those robot dogs, not Boston Dynamics version, but different brands, you can get for as like low as $1,500, $1,600 now. Those robots, the people robots, are about $20,000, which is obviously significant, but like, in a commercial sense, like it's kind of mainstream now. People just don't have them, I guess, very frequently.
Can it clean up my house, do my dishes?
I think that's what it's
make me
supposed.
Lunch.
The Tesla one can.
I don't believe that those are the tasks that you are actually interested in your robot doing for you, Michael. But
Stop projecting.
I do believe that it can do those tasks.
Stop projecting.
I'm trying to look it up, but there was damn it, there was a Consumer Electronics Show recently, and there was a lot of cool stuff on there, and some of them were some pretty hot robots. Tell you that much. I wish I could find the I had them. I had it bookmarked, but I can't find it right now. And you guys aren't going to talk while I try to find it.
So on the Tesla Optimus one, they bill it as a robot, and it's now for sale. It's billed as a humanoid robot capable of performing tasks that are unsafe, repetitive, or boring for you to do. So, like, yeah, the idea is for you to. Have you seen the commercial for the Tesla humanoid?
I don't watch TV.
No, it wasn't. That's on like Twitter or something. But like the premise was like it was a person that was just at home, and the robot went to the car, picked out the groceries. Then it came like they were sitting in their backyard having a drink, and the robot was bringing them a refill. Like as they were having a party, it was like playing with the kids, which kind of a little weird.
Weird.
But like it was just doing regular everyday things in their house.
So how many years before you guys get your first robot?
Never.
The Tesla robot will do things that are unsafe, repetitive, or boring.
Yeah, that's what it says. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Like I'm building the kids a treehouse out there, and I gotta hang this last piece of wall. It's pretty dangerous. Would it do that for me?
Here's a robot that'll do that for you.
This is Aria. So this is our flagship humanoid AI-powered robot. She's highly
Jesus.
She has her own social media, so she might be competing with you one day.
Can you replace humans for jobs?
So realistic.
I'm excited to be here. Darling, I'm more about enhancing human experiences rather than taking jobs. Think of me as your entertaining plus one.
She's not meant to replace humans.
All right, Michael, I don't think that one can, quote unquote, hang a wall.
It's a robot. She's got robot strength. This is weird and scary. How many young men are going to be walking around with robot girlfriends in the next 10 years?
Wait,
creepy.
So you guys did not see the Kim Kardashian advertisement?
No.
Oh, like all this stuff has been on like Twitter for the past 10 days, all these things I'm referencing. But she put out an advertisement with her robot, and it's like her laying on the beach, like on a bed with it, her laying in the car with it. Like it's just like chilling with her robot. So yeah, I do think that people are going to take this to a level that it does not need to be in. I mean, and she's naked in them too. So
I'm sorry, what?
Just pull it up. It's on her. It should be on like it's easy to find.
What do I search? Kim Kardashian naked
robot.
I'm pretty sure you can just search Kim Kardashian. Probably like the last thing that popped up because it was like yesterday. Kim Kardashian robot.
Here's a little recap of the CES Consumer Electronics Show 2025. Some of the stuff is in there. This is a stretchable micro LED display that turns 2D into 3D by Samsung. Look at that. Useless.
Wow.
Who cares? A multitasking household robot. I mean, that's just a Roomba.
I mean, that's just one of those vacuums.
Yeah, all right, it's some trash. I mean, if it's not folding laundry, I don't want it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's the least that we could ask for is folding laundry. World's first rollable PC that allows you to expand the screen upwards. Look at the screen get rolled up. Oh, man. It's kind of cool. Charles likes that, I bet. Charles is really into it. A neural wristband. You can use your hand as a mouse. Lame. That's going to make some things difficult. Am I right, Michael? BMD's panoramic eye drive, 3D heads-up display that projects information across the entire windshields.
Seems like a distraction.
Safe.
Yeah,
you don't want information in front of you on the windshield, do you? You don't want that. That doesn't sound good.
I think it's just on the lower third, but yeah, it's still a distraction.
Yeah, lower third. That's a industry term.
Okay.
What is that?
I'm watching Kim Kardashian and her Tesla robot.
Here's another human.
Oh, it's a robot baby. Oh, sorry, Max.
But never met in person. It's a little shorter than some of the other humanoid robots out there, but I think that's what makes it special.
It's like a dwarf.
It's got depth camera and LiDAR so that it can see the world. It's got a microphone so that someday you'll be able to have like conversations with it. They're working on a chat GPT integration is what I hear. These hands are just for show, but there's different hand attachments you can get that do different things. You can kind of see how
hand attachments do different things. Whoa, let's see those hand attachments, dude. What do you got in the suitcase? Wow.
Is his name Frodo?
It's gonna be a brand new world in about 5 years. Imagine what's gonna be in 10 years. How many robots who's gonna have the most robots between the three of us?
I'm not gonna have any, so you guys.
Yeah, you're gonna have a robot. You're gonna have
I'll have robot things. I'm not gonna have a robot humanoid. I'll have like my robot vacuum still. I'll have like a robot refrigerator if they make that kind of stuff. Maybe a robot dog.
Does it walk to you?
What are you talking about? A robot?
Maybe it like sends a note to my phone saying, "Hey, we need or this is almost bad.
You need seed oil."
But no, I wouldn't have one that could no.
It walks up and brings you your food, so you don't have to get out of your seat.
Charles is
Isn't
gonna
that
have
okay?
Charles is gonna have a robot dog, a robot snake, like robot animals all over his apartment. All over his apartment. And they're
He's already got a head start.
They're going to be sad because they don't have a front or backyard and they have to stay in this apartment. Even robots would get sad. I think Michael will have the most robots, but we can end it there. I don't know why you're making that face.
I will bet you.
Okay, fine. I mean, at the end of the day, even if I get more robots, I win because I have more robots.
If you consider that a win.
This has been the BCM podcast. It's been a pleasure, guys. It's always fun. I enjoy speaking with y'all, and I love it that people tune in and listen to us talk about bullshit all the time. Please subscribe, share with your friends and family, and we'll end it there. Thank you.